Well, it's Tuesday, August 20th. I don't even remember what day it is on this whole fiasco. But I'm just gonna get it out here. This is a disclaimer. This is by all means not a bullying video. This is not a video to purposely bash someone. This is a response video. My side of the story of what this whole drama is going on about. And I'm going to be 100% honest here. Everything that I say is going to be the truth. Okay, pause right here. When you see random cuts in the video, it's not like I'm trying to hide anything. If you can't tell, I am clearly sick right now. I have some sort of congestion. So when there's cuts in the video, it's because I'm coughing or I'm hacking up something really gross that you would not like to see. So please don't think that I'm hiding anything. Because why lie when you know you've done essentially nothing wrong? It all started probably my first week back to school. My really good friend Nazareth, or Daisha, I'm gonna call her Nazareth, but that's her real name if you're looking for a real name. You know, her and Cecilia, the person we will be discussing this whole story with, they were dating. And she decided to take a break because she barely really knew Cecilia other than her venting. And, she wanted to get to know the inside of Cecilia, not just listen to her vent and just keep comforting her like a good friend. They were more best friends than a relationship. And Cecilia took that as she's dumping me for her ex, or she was with her ex. And I will be honest, I thought that too. But after I look back, I realized I was just looking out for a friend. And when I saw the pictures of almost 2 years, I didn't think of it as almost 2 years of friendship. I thought of it as 2 years of a relationship. So I showed Cecilia, and that's what put her in that whole situation. And that is my fault. I shouldn't have cut straight to the chase. I shouldn't have assumed that. I should have asked questions. So when that happened, Cecilia pretty much wanted to cut all ties off with Nazareth, even though she cared about her. And I told her, you shouldn't. Cecilia was my best friend for a year. She was the first friend I made at my high school. And, any advice she would give me, I would listen to it. I would attempt to make do with that advice. And I thought she could do that with me with my advice. I've given her so much advice. I've been there when she's vented. I've done countless things to make sure she is okay, because she was like a sister to me. She was my best friend in the entire world. And so what happened was, we were at lunch. Nazareth was sitting with me, and so was her friend Jordan. And all of a sudden, this girl, I think her name's Valerie, yes, Valerie, goes up to Nazareth, and they go talk in the hall for a second. And I come back, and Nazareth goes, well, now she knows the truth. And I asked myself, I said, what truth? And I said, Nazareth, what truth? And she said, well, I told her how Dominic abandoned us, and she said she was going to end it because she didn't think that he cared about her. At least that's what I got from it. And so I was like, okay. I was a little happy because freshman year, this guy decided to just completely cut all ties with our friend group and then say he was going to work on himself and his grades. But in reality, he got a new girlfriend, broke up with Nazareth, dropped us completely, and then essentially, when we found out, it was me and my boyfriend Robert's fault because we had too much relationship drama. And I will admit, we did have some relationship drama, and we came to you guys for help, and you took that as, too much drama. Yeah, we had some drama, but it wasn't like every day I'm arguing with him and throwing things and having a huge fit. It was during my dark time and his dark time, and we were happy and we were healthy, so I want you to know that. Thank you for helping us with our drama that, you couldn't handle and had to leave the whole entire group. including your now ex-girlfriend, 4. And so the next day, Cecilia is talking to Dominic right after this girl broke up with him. And, you know, they're smiling, they're laughing. And so I meet up with her and we're walking to class. And I said, look, I know Dominic's a really good friend of yours, or was. And out of all the times I've said just don't text him, don't bother, he's now coming back into your life because he's burnt the bridge with us, but he hasn't burnt the bridge with you. And she said, okay. And I said, look, you know, in my head, I was thinking just say that I care about you thing, but she's probably heard that so many times before, and I should have just said, hey, I care about you. But I said, this is what I said to her. I said, please, I would just keep my distance because I didn't want her getting hurt by him again. I didn't want to have to hear the vent or the story of how he found another girl and didn't want to just, you know, completely drop her. I didn't want her to be hurt. And I guess it was selfish. It was selfish of me to say, you know, I made an assumption. I said, just please, you know, I meant it as a warning. I said, please just keep your distance. And so we sat next to each other at lunch, and she gets a text from him because she wanted to sit by him and me. And the first thing that he said was, I am not sitting by Sydney. And I thought, okay, that's fine, but I have nowhere else to sit. So she sat by them while I was cooking her mac and cheese. And, you know, she comes back and I'm like, you know, I apologize. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry if I got a little aggressive while, you know, talking to you about the warning. And you know, she didn't think much of it. She essentially, you know, kind of blew it off her shoulder. We ate lunch. We said our goodbyes after lunch. And that's when things kind of broke out. Because I went to Nazareth. Because she was the only one I could talk to about the situation. Because, you know, to my thought, Nazareth really cared about Cecilia. And she was there for everything too, you know? And just because they had gotten into a recent argument, I was pretty confident that they were still talking to each other. So I said, I went up to Nazareth. I said, hey, Dominic wants to get back in Cecilia's life, and I'm not sure about that. Do you mind if I send you screenshots of what, you know, of what I thought he was doing, you know? Do you mind if I text that to you? And what I thought he was doing was I thought he was giving him like a very shadowed down ultimatum, me or her. That's what I felt like. I felt like this is the first day that you're going to talk to her in months, and you're going to make her choose. So I was very mad. I will admit that. I blew that out of proportion. So, you know, I told her that. And as you can see in screenshots that I will show in a minute, Nazareth went straight to Cecilia and texted her and said, don't let Dominic give you an ultimatum. You know, because I didn't know she was feeling pressured and didn't want to tell me or what was going on. And that took it as, you know, she took that as it's being a threat. Nazareth is threatening me over Dominic. And that's what she put in her head and just went based off that. And it turned into a whole argument against her and Cecilia. And Cecilia came back to me. She said, I'm not going to be the message man. And she was freaking out. And I said, okay, calm down. And I said, I informed her because we care about you. And she threw she doesn't care about me. Stop it. And I said, look, Cecilia, in my head I was thinking, we care about you. We love you, And I made the wrong decision, and I'm taking her side on this. I'm taking Nazareth's side because we both just had a concern with the life choices she was making. And that's when Cecilia went straight off the rails. That's when she started freaking out, talking to us, saying things to us, which I will show in these screenshots. And really just being not... She was being overdramatic, and I saw her standpoint. But yet, she was also just letting anything that came to her head just flow out. And me and Naz were trying to be responsible, like, hey, this is just our thoughts, We were being calm and collected about it. And then she wanted to block us. And finally she told me, stay out of my business. And I went, stay out of your business? Really? After all the stuff that I have done for you, after everything, after every little thing I've been there for you for, you want me to stay out of your business because I give you a warning that you took the wrong way because we didn't want you getting hurt. Yeah, you're gonna flip the switch. Glass 4 shattered. And in her little story, she says that I called her a bitch. And I will be 100% honest, I did. There is text proof that I called her it. That is the only time I believe I've said it to her in that whole entire argument. I lost my top. I completely lost it. It infuriated me that after all that I've been there for, I tried to give her advice, a little warning, and it went from warning to war, and she flipped the switch like that and said, stay out of my business. And so I went to Instagram and I said best friend applications because I feel really unappreciated, because that's what I wanted to get out, I just wanted to say that. And I did make it public. I did. And at the time I was feeling very unappreciated. I felt like, after a year of being a best friend to someone, after hearing all the stories, after hearing all the drama, after hearing their entire life story, they just take one thing you say and completely throw it out of proportion and snap like that and just drop you. That's the thing. She said that we dropped her. No, we didn't. You took it out of proportion, blocked us, and then said, nope, not friends. So we said, nope, not friends. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. She completely blew up in our face. Now, beforehand, before she said stay out of our business, she sat there. Well, this is right before she said she was going to block me. This was when her and Nazareth were arguing, and she pretty much said, I'm blocking you, I have nothing to do with you, you're crazy. And Nazareth was like, okay, bye, good riddance, see you later, Taking it as peacefully as Nazareth can take it peacefully, if I want to be 100% honest, And then Cecilia texts me right after that argument and says, that's just another person that hates me. It's like, I'm not here for your pity party, Cecilia. I saw what you said to her, and she doesn't hate you. She's never said once that she hated you. It's all up in your head. And I guess that's what happened with all of your other friends. Because we never once said we hated you, yet we hate you so much, and we want nothing to do with you, and all of this stuff you're telling people and saying stuff like, oh, they hate me. It's like, we never said we hated you. If we would have said we hated you, you would have had a better argument. And that's when, after I posted to Instagram, she got on our account that we shared. I think she changed the password. I haven't been on that account forever. And she decided to text me saying, I need to grow up and quit being overdramatic. And I saw that. I was being a little overdramatic, but, when she says stay out of my business and she's going directly into my business, I find that kind of contradicting. And she has her right to speak out against what's going on. And that's when I said, look, apparently, since I have to stay out of your business, you should be staying out of mine. And, she went off, said what she had to say, and it just really, it hurt a lot. Losing a best friend sucks. But once you realize that that person is toxic and they're claiming that you're toxic, I can't do that. And that's when I told my boyfriend, I said, I can't handle this. I just lost my best friend over a stupid argument. And, she wants to burn her bridge, that's fine. So, I shouldn't have dragged my boyfriend into it. I shouldn't have. So he texted her and said, look, please, can we all just stop being immature? That's what he wanted to put out there. And it does look manipulative. I understand that, but it wasn't meant to be that way. It was more of a, let's just calm down, act our age, and settle this like the adults we're growing up to be. And then she got her older sister. And on it. And, they're arguing back and forth, and really, she said she was going to report my boyfriend, even though he said nothing offensive in any way. She was just saying, hey, let's just leave the situation alone. Let's leave Sydney alone. Let's leave the situation alone. And then Nazareth got involved. And, Nazareth went full out extreme. And, she was saying, hey, you want to protect your younger sister, but she's the reason she's been, like, venting to all of us. Your family and you have tortured her and, said all this stuff. And even backed it up with text messages that I don't have and I don't want to share. And what she has the audacity to say is Cecilia says things when she's mad and puts the blame on other people. That is the icing on the cake right there. That really screams, I have control. And I'm going to control the situation. I'm going to control my younger sister. It's like she didn't have a right to have an opinion there, She blames people when she's mad. Really. At least from the things that I've heard. She's not really blaming other people for the situation. She's blaming other people because they are the ones to blame. Now that was off subject, but, that's really the end of it. Her sister said her argument, blocked all of us, we blocked her, and then I burned our picture we took at the mall. I couldn't stand seeing it. I didn't just want to rip it up, because then it'd be in the trash, and, I thought, I just can't even look at this photo anymore. Like, it made me sick, So I burned it, and I posted it on TikTok, because it was my way of venting. It was my way of saying, I'm done with this. This is the last straw.
She told me that she loved me by the water fountain. She told me that she loved me and she didn't love him. And that was really lovely because it was innocent. But now she's got a couple.
And she says she has friends that have seen it. But I think she made a second account. Now I'm just assuming that. And what she did was she posted her side of the story on TikTok. Called me petty. Said, I'll be honest, yes, I did call her a bitch. But the stuff she said to me was also extremely rude and offensive to me. And, you know, she said best frenemies is the description. And you're exactly right. You know, we've burnt our bridge with each other.
Tiptoe by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
It's probably not going to be fixable. And this is where I decided to make this video, because I couldn't stand having to sit there and have her play the victim card and nothing is her fault and she's the innocent one. And it's her little pity party. But I'm going to be honest here. We're both to blame. I'll be honest. Yes, we are both to blame. We both mixed fire and fire, and we both put it together and made a huge explosion. As for the future, you know, this is going to be my last response unless any other extreme drama comes up. And, you know, this is what happened on my side of the story. This is pretty much what happened with everything. So, this is where I end the video, and that's that. Because this is the story. You know, when she wants to sit here today and tell my friend Austin, don't believe anything she says. Don't trust her. I think that's you trying to control him, Cecilia. I think that's you wanting to not admit that you're also in the wrong. We're both in the wrong. And we just need to cut it off right here. That's exactly what we need to do. And that's where, you know, this is where I say my goodbye. Because I simply am not going to deal with having the blame put 100% on me. Because the second this video is out there, I'm going to make it well and clear that we are both to blame. I'm not 100% to blame, and you aren't either. We are both. We both have our issue in this argument, and this is where I say goodbye.